Hi students, today we will be discussing the October 2024 Mathematics Paper 2. The paper code is 4024/22 and the time duration for this paper is 2 hours and 30 minutes. You can use a mathematical calculator for this paper. So let's move on to the first question. The first question, A part. These are the contents of a bag of mixed fruit: pineapple 96 grams, mango 84 grams, and papaya 60 grams. Calculate the mass of mango as percentage of the total mass of the mixed fruit. So that's simple. Mass of mango is 84 and calculate it as the total mass of the mixed fruit. So that would be 84, 96 plus 84 plus 3. So that into 100. So you can put in your calculator. So again, we do the addition. It would be 84 over 240. 84 over 240 into 100. Into 100. That will be equal to exactly 35%. So that's clear. So the B part, Tom makes a drink by mixing juice and water in the ratio 3:7. He makes 1.4 liters of this drink. Calculate the amount of juice Tom uses. Give your answer in milliliters. So Tom is making a drink used by mixing juice is to water. So the ratio between juice to water is 3:7. So now they are asking to calculate the amount of juice from uses. So they haven't given the volume of the juice of the water, but they are given us the volume of the entire drink. So the entire drink ratio would be 10. That is because the juice and water is split in a ratio of 3:7. So the drink is the total ratio that is going to be 3 plus 7, which is 10. So now we can use this ratio and the volume to find the amount of juice. So 1.4 liter is to 10. We are finding X is to 3. So now we can again cross multiply. So X is equal to 3 times 1.4 divided by 10. You can put in a calculator. X will be equal to 0.42 liters. So if you want to convert liters to milliliters, you have to multiply by 1000. Then it would be 420 milliliters. So that's the answer. They gave us the ratio between juice and water, and they gave us the total volume of the drink entirely. So we had to find the amount of juice Tom uses. So the drinks ratio would be the addition of the juice and water ratio, and because the total is anyway going to be the drink. So 1.4 liters is to 10. We are finding the amount of juice, so we are finding the three ratio. We cross multiply and we get 20 milliliters. Let's move on to the next question. The cost of a fruit drink is directly proportional to the amount of juice it contains. A fruit drink containing 125 milliliters of juice costs $1.5. Calculate the cost of a fruit drink containing 175 milliliter of juice. So direct proportions. So we'll take some variables first. Cost of fruit drink as say capital C, and we take the juice as simple J. So they say that the cost of a fruit drink is directly proportional to the amount of juice, which means C is equal to K times J. So they are told that a fruit drink containing 125 milliliter of juice costs $1.5. So always remember in direct proportions question, the first pair of values is given for you to find the value of K. So the cost is 1.5 equal K into the amount of juice 125. So K is equal to 1.5 divided by 125 is equal to 0.012. So now we know our equation, which is going to be C equal 0.012 J. So now we are calculating the cost for 175 ml. So that would be 0.012 into 175. So that the answer would be at $2.1. So again, remember direct proportions, you have to write the formula first. Have usually variables will be given here, person given, so you can just adjust it. And after write the formula, the first pair is given for you to find K. Afterwards, you can use the K value to um, find the attribute they have asked the question. So let's move to the next question. Coffee has a bag containing nuts and raisins. There are 285 grams of raisins in the bag. The remaining 62% of the mass of the bag is nuts. Calculate the mass of nuts in the bag. So again, if we read, coffee has a bag containing nuts and raisins. There are 285 grams of raisins in the bag. The remaining 62% of the mass in the bag is nuts. Calculate the mass of nuts in the bag. So they say that 62% of the mass of the bag is nuts. So we can find the percentage of raisins by subtracting by 100. That's going to be 38. So now we are good to use ratios. So 285 grams raisins mass is just 38%. We are finding the mass of nuts, that is going to be 62%. So now again we can cross multiply. So 285 into 62 divided by 38. So now they said that it's percentage. Percentage means this will become 0.62, 0.38. So here we got it as percentage 30. So when we are working with it, usually we should convert it to decimal and use it. So answer is 465 grams. 465 grams. So the equation, the mass of mixed nuts and seeds in the bag is 500 grams, correct to the nearest 10 gram. The mass of nuts in the bag is 350 grams, correct to the nearest 5 gram. Calculate the upper bound and the lower bound of the mass of seeds in the bag. So they say that there's a bag containing mixed nuts and seeds, and those masses are given. Also, the mass of nuts is separately given. we have to find the upper bound and lower bound of the mass of seeds in the bag. So firstly, we'll find the error. So if they say nearest 10 means 10 divided by 2, that is 5 grams. So upper bound of nuts, nut plus seed is equal to 500 plus 5, that's 505 grams. Lower bound of nut plus seed will be equal to 500 minus 5, that is 495 grams. Similarly, if we find for the mass of nuts, 5 divided by 2 is going to be 2.5, that's the error. So upper bound of nuts is equal to 300, 352.5 grams, and lower bound of nuts will be equal to 347.5 grams. So this is how we find upper bound and lower bound. So now they are asking the upper bound of the mass of steel. So upper bound of mass of steel is going to be equal to, we need a high value. So in other words, we need upper bound of nut plus seed minus the lower bound of nuts. That is because overall we need a upper bound value or a higher value of the seeds. So we have to use the higher value of nut and seed and subtract it by a smaller number. So upper bound of nut plus seed is 505 minus the lower bound of uh, nuts is 347.5. That's going to be equal to uh, that's going to be equal to 157.5 grams. Nextly, the lower bound of speed is equal to uh, lower bound of speed, we need the low value. That's going to be equal to lower bound of nut plus speed and the upper bound of nut, because we want a lower difference, because we want the lower bound of speed, we have to use a higher initial value. That means the we have to use, sorry, we have to use a lower initial value. So the amount of nuts and seeds, we should use the lower bound, and we have to subtract it by a higher value. So we are using the upper bound of nuts. So lower bound 300, oh sorry, 495 minus 352.5. So that's going to be equal to 142.5 grams. So that's the answer. So you have to focus on how to finding the error. After that, if they ask a separate combination, like upper bound of something else, then you have to make sure try combinations that would give you a high value or a low value. You are unable to remember. So let's move on to the next question. The second question, A part, the table shows the age and value of 10 cars of the same model. So these are the age and these are the value for the prices. So complete the scatter diagram. The first 6 points have been plotted for you. We have to come these points. First 5, 4,500. That here 5, 4,500. So two boxes One box is 4,200 here. One box is $200 here. So based on that, you have to estimate. Next, 6,3,000. 6,3,000. Afterwards, 8,1,005. It will be here. And nextly, 8,2,000. So that those are the scatter points. The next question, draw a line of best fit. We draw a best fit line. That would be like this. Next, best fit lines means there'll be a lot of points around the graph, but the best fit will have all most of the points very close to it. So, but there might be one or two anomalous points. So best fit is like an overall average point. For the next question, use your line of best fit to find an estimate for the value of a car of this model that is 7 years old. So 7 years old means we have to find the value at 7. So 7 is exactly here. And the value is here. So we have to draw this line and show the term as well. So that is one box after 2,000, which is going to be 2,200. I hope that's clear. The next question. J has a car of this model that is 12 years old and he wants to find its value. Explain why J should not use the scatter diagram to find an estimate for the value of this car. So the problem in this scatter diagram is it is limited to maximum 8, 9, and even 9 is also not sure. Maximum 8, minimum 8, maximum 9. So he wants to check for a car that is 12 years old. So 12 years old is outside the range of data. Also, you can see that the line of best fit does not go close to 12. Therefore, he cannot use it. So the answer would be 12 is outside the range of data and the line of best fit does not go until 12. These things you can just see from the graph and output. So let's move on to the next question. Sorry. For the B question, J records the distances traveled by 50 cars. The frequency table shows the results. So it shows the distance traveled by 50 cars, that's in kilometers. So from 10 to 40 kilometers, there were 8 cars, and 40 to 50 kilometers, there were 14 cars. 50 to 60 kilometers, there were 11 cars, and 60 to 100, there were 17 cars. So the first question, work out the fraction of the cars that have traveled more than 50,000 kilometers. 50,000 kilometers. So each of these are between 10 means 10,000 to 40,000, likewise 40,000 to 50,000. They want above 50,000, that's going to be from here. So it will be 11 plus 17. So 11 plus 17 would be 28. So the total is 50. So if we want to write this as a in the simplest form, we can divide this fraction by 2. 20 divided by 2 is 40. 50 divided by 2 is 25. So that's our final answer. So next question, find the interval that contains the median. The median formula is half into n. So half into 52, 26. So we have to just write the cumulative frequency also here to make it easier to understand. So the first interval is 8, next time it's 22, then it's 33, and then it becomes 50. So 25th is between this range, inside the 33 range. Therefore, the interval is distance is greater than 50 and less than or equal 60. The distance is greater than 50 and less than or equal less than or equal 60. That's the final answer. For the next question, calculate an estimate of the mean distance traveled. So mean formula is mean equal mean equal sigma fx over sigma f. So that means fx sigma fx means the sum of all the fx values. So the first fx value is 8 into x is the difference between the time interval, that's 30, plus the next one 40 into 45. We have to consider the middle number 18 into 25 plus 14 into the middle number between 40 and 50 is 45 plus the middle number between 50 and 60 is 55 plus the middle number between 60 and 100 is 80. So that whole thing will be divided by the total frequency. Total frequency is 50. Then the mean is equal to 55.9. Mean is equal to 55.9. So let's move on to the third question. A part, the diagram shows a tank. The tank is a cuboid with length 1.2 meter, width 0.6 meter, and height h meter. The volume of the tank is 1.8 meter cubed. First question, calculate the value of height. So they are given the volume of this cuboid and they want us to find the value of the height. So for that, we can use the volume of the cuboid formula. So volume is equal to length into breadth into height. So our volume is here 1.8 and our length is 1.2 and our width or breadth we can take it as 0.6 and we are finding the height. So 1.8 equals 1.2 into 0.6 is going to be 0.72 times h. So h is equal to 1.8 divided by 0.72. Therefore, h will be equal to 2.5 meters. So they gave us the volume. So we just use the volume formula and found the value of our h. So next question. Fuel is pumped into the empty tank at a rate of 0.2 meter cube per minute. Calculate the time taken to fill the tank to 90% of its volume. So for 1 minute, it pumps 0.2 meter cubic distance. We have to calculate the time taken to fill the tank to 90% of its volume. So our first step is to find the 90% of the volume. So that would be 90% of 1.8 equal to 90, which is equal to 0.9 into 1.8. So 90% means 90 over 100. So that is 0.9. 0.9 into 1.8 is going to be 1.62 meter cube. So now we can use ratios. They say that for 1 minute, it pumps at a rate of, for 1 minute, it pumps at a rate of 0.2 meter cube. So we have to find for the volume. We have to find for the volume that is 1.62. So again, we can just divide x is equal to 1.62 divided by 0.2. So x will be equal to, in that case, we get the answer as 8.1 minutes. So they have told us to give our answer in meters, minutes and seconds. So this is 8 minutes. So this 0.1 minute we can convert to seconds. So 0.1. So minutes to seconds, we have to multiply by 60. 0.1 into 60, that will be equal to 6 seconds. So our final answer is 8 minutes and 6 seconds. So recap in this question, fuel is pumped into the empty tank at a rate of 0.2 meter cube per minute. So we have to calculate the time taken to fill the tank to 90% of its volume. So first, we have to find 90% of its volume. That's going to be 1.62. Additionally, now we have to find for 1.62 how much time is going to be taken, so that we can find by 1.62 divided by 0.2. So that would give us 8.1 minutes. So it was asked to give our answer in minutes and seconds. So we can write 8 minutes as it is. And with 0.1 we can convert into seconds. That is, we get by multiplying with 50. So our final answer is 8 minutes and 6 seconds. So let's move on to the next question. So the B part, the diagram shows a tank with an open top. The tank is a prism with trapezium ABCD as cross section. AD equal DC equals 70 centimeters. So AD and BC is equal to 70 centimeter. CD is equal to 80 centimeter and AB is equal to 110 centimeter. The base of the tank is a square. Calculate the total surface area of the outside of the tank. So if I quickly label it, they say that BC is also going to be 70. So BC is also 70. So here, as you can see, this ADCB is a trapezium. So the same trapezium is only there here also in EHGF also. So these two are the same trapezium, so we can find the area of that. Also, these two are going to be rectangles. That is because here we have one length and these two lengths are going to be equal. So what are those lengths are? they said that the base of the tank is a square. So if BC is 80, DH is also going to be 80. So DH is also going to be 80. So as you can see here, we have two rectangles in both sides. So we can find the area of rectangle using length into breadth. Also, we have a square. So now if I write the formula for a total surface, total surface area is equal to two trapezium plus two rectangles plus one square. So from this formula, how it will be clear? There are two trapeziums here, two rectangles here, that is this and this. Also, we have one base as square. Now we can write the formula for area. So area of trapezium formula is going to be half into a plus b into height, and area of rectangle formula is going to be length into breadth. So 2 times length into breadth. Also, area of square formula is going to be length into length. So here we can clearly see that our A value is going to be 80 for trapezium and B value is 110. So our H value, we have to find it. So to find our H value, if I just draw you and show the trapezium, just a rough sketch like this. So here we have 80 and here we have totally 110 and this was given as 70. So now if we find the length of this height, the length of this part, we find the length of this part, then we can use Pythagoras theorem to find the length of the height. So as you can see here, these two lengths are going to be equal. That is because this 80 starts exactly in the middle. So these two lengths would be equal. So if I want to find that length, I can just do 110 minus 80. So that difference is 30. So because these two lengths are equal, then we can just do equal 30 divided by 2. So that is our length, which is 15 centimeter. So this small part is 15 centimeter. So now if we want to find our height, we can use Pythagoras theorem. By doing here, h square plus 15 square is equal to 70 square. So we can simplify it at once. H equal square root of 70 square minus 15 square. So because we have the calculator, we can just write this working at once and give the answer. So when we solve this, h will be 68.4. So this is our h value. So now we can easily use our trapezium formula, the main question, 2 times half into our A value was 80, our B value was 110, and our H value is 68.4. Also, now if we consider a rectangle, our length of the rectangle is going to be 80 and the breadth is going to be 70. Also, area of square formula, that's going to be 80 into 80. So now if we put this whole expression into the calculator, that would be our answer. We can just simply use these brackets properly and put the answer. So we'll get the answer as 30,596. So if we write it for 3 significant figures, that would be 30,600 centimeter square. So this is the final answer, correct to 3S. 30,600. So if I give a quick recap of this question, the diagram shows a tank with an open top. The tank, the prism with trapezium ABCD as its cross section. So we had to find the total surface area of this tank. So according to this shape, we have two trapeziums, one square and two rectangles. Now you could ask, why didn't we consider this part? That is because they told that the tank is open. So this AEBF is nothing. So we have two trapeziums, two rectangles, and one square. So we can use the formulas like this. 2 times half into A plus B into X is trapezium. Length into breadth is rectangle and length into length is square. So we know the A and B value. But to find the height, we have to go to additional step like this. So we know that this is the middle is 80, total is 110. So these two lengths are going to be equal. So we first found that length that was 15. So using that, we can find the length of edge using Pythagoras theorem. As you can see here, 8.4 was the answer. So after we can substitute it into this equation, and then we get the answer 30,600. So let's move on to the next question. The fourth question, Anya buys 4 shirts and 3 hats. He pays $100 and receives $21.5 in change. Each shirt costs the same amount. Each hat costs $13.5. So again, if we read it, Anya buys 4 shirts and 3 hats. He pays a total of $100 and receives 21.5 in change. So each shirt costs the same amount and each hat costs $13.5. So we have to work out the cost of one shirt. So firstly, we can find the total price that went for the clothes that we can do by 100 minus 21.5. That would be equal to $78.5. So why did I do 100 minus 28.5? She paid a total of $100 for this clothes and she received change as 21.5. So the total amount that has gone for 4 shirts and 3 hats is 78.5. So now they have given us that each hat costs 13.5. So we can subtract that by 78.5 as well. So 78.5 minus, we have, she has bought 3 hats. So 3 into 13.5. So that is going to be equal to $38. So now this $38 is the cost of 4 shirts. So if we want to find the cost of 1 shirt, they told us each shirt costs the same amount. So we can just do 38 divided by 4. So that's going to be equal to $9.5. So that is the cost of 1 shirt. So again, if I recap, she pays $100 and receives change 21.5. So using that, we can find the cost for the dress, that is 100 minus 21.5, which gave us 78.5. So this 78.5 is the total amount that went for 4 shirts and 3 hats. So they also gave us the cost of 1 hat. So using that, we can subtract 3 times 13.5 to find the price of the 4 shirts. So when we subtracted, we got $38. So nextly, to find the price of 1 shirt, we should do 38 divided by 4. So that will be equal to $9.5. So let's move on to the next question. The exchange rate between dollars and euros is $1 is to equal 0.91 euros. Anya buys a new camera for $150. She sees the same camera for sale online for 140 euros. So calculate the difference between the price in dollars and the price in euros. Give your answer in dollars and correct to the nearest cent. So here we have to find the difference between the price in dollars and the price in euros. So since we want a final answer in dollars, we can just convert this euro value to dollars. So they say that $1 is 0.91 euros. So we can simply do 140 divided by 0.91. So that will give us a dollar value, that is $153.85. I hope that's clear. Now we can just find the difference. So 153.85 minus 150, that's our difference, which is going to be equal to 3.85. So this is our final answer. So this is given in dollars and correct to the nearest cent, as you can see here, 0.85. So our answer is 3.85. So next question. Anya invests $600 in a savings account. The account pays compound interest at a rate of R% per year. At the end of 3 years, the total is $21.86. Calculate the value of R. So they want us to find the rate in the compound interest formula. So for that, we can write the compound interest formula first. So total equal P times P times 1 plus 1 plus R over 100. 1 plus R over 100. So that to the power T is our compound interest formula. So now we know the price at $600 and the time is 3 years, but our total is going to be 600 plus 21.86. That is because they have told us that at the end of 3 years, the total interest is 21.86. Usually in compound interest formula, you will get the total at once. So this T will be the total with the interest added. So if we find T this side, T is equal to 600 plus 21.86. So T is equal to $621.86. Now if we put that in the equation, 621.86 is equal to our price is 600, and inside we'll have the 1 plus R over 100 as it is, 1 plus R over 100. So the time is going to be 3 years. So T will be 3. So now we can take this 600 as division to the left. So that would be 621.86 over 600. 621.86 over 600. So additionally, we can take this cube also to the left after taking the division. So when cube goes to the left, it becomes cube root. So it would be like this, cube root. So the cube root of this value is going to be equal to our 1 plus R over 100. So I hope that's clear. So now the cube root value gives us 1.0119 equal 1 plus R over 100. It's better to take much decimal places as possible because our rate we should give at least to 1 decimal place. So to maintain accuracy, we can take like that. So now we can take the 1 to the left So 1.0119 minus 1 going to be 0.0119 equal to our R over 100. So now you can see, we can simply take our R to the right, R to the left as multiplication. So 0.0119 into 100 is going to be, our R is going to be 1.19. So if we round it off, that would be 1.2%. So I hope that's clear. So if I do a recap, they told that Anya invests $600 in a savings account. The account pays compound interest at a rate of 5% per year. At the end of 3 years, the total is $21.86. So first, we should find the value of R. So first, we should write the formula. So in the formula of compound interest, remember, the total will be equal to the value with the interest. That means the sum of the initial amount plus the interest. So we have to find that value initially. So we found it by 600 plus 21.86. So that gave us this. Now we have to solve this process, this equation. So 600 went down and this cube came to the left. So we can cube root. So after that, this value was 1.0119 equal 1 plus R over 100. Then we moved the 1 to the left. So it became subtraction. That gave us 0.0119 equal R over 100. So now to find R, we just multiply R equal 1.19. So if we round it off, R is equal to 1.2%. So let's move on to the next question. The fifth question. Mandeep has these 9 number cards: 1 1, 2 1s, 3 2s, 1 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the A part, she takes one of the 9 cards at random, notes the number, and replaces it. So find the probability that the card shows an odd number. So the odd numbers from these 9 cards are 1, 5, and 7. So we have 2 1s and 2 1s and 1, 5, and 7. So our numerator will be 4. And the total number of cards is 9. So our final answer is also going to be 4 over 9. That is because the number of odd numbers here are 4 and the total is 9. So our final answer is 4 over 9. 4 over 9. So the next question. Mandeep takes one of the 9 cards at random, notes the number and replaces it. She then takes the second card at random. Find the probability that both the cards show the number 1. So this is a bit replacement case. So first, we are finding probability of getting 1 and 1. The probability of getting 1 first is going to be 2 over 9. So 2 over 9. That is because we have only 2 1s out of these 9 numbers. So again, she notes the number and again replaces it. And again, they want to take 1. So that probability will again be 2 over 9. So that is like he takes this 1 out. So getting 1 from the initial set is 2 over 9. Again, she keeps this 1. So again, it's the usual 9 cards that we had before. So again, the probability of getting 1 is 2 over 9. So this is probability of getting 1 and 1. So we multiply both the probabilities. 2 over 9 into 2 over 9. That is going to be equal to 4 over 81. So since this is a proper fraction, we can leave our answer like this itself. So 4 over 81. For the next question, Mandin takes 2 of the 9 cards at random without replacement. She calculates the product of the 2 numbers shown. Find the probability that the product is less than 5. So now Mandip take again 2 cards, but without replacement, and she calculates the product of the two numbers shown. So now we have to find the probability that the product is less than 5. So to get the product 5, the numbers we need is, so if I say numbers to get product 5, so those numbers are going to be, or in other words, the factors 1 into 2, 2 into 2, 2 into 2, or again 1 into 2. So the numbers, the different combinations are going to be within these 5 numbers. So 1, 1, 2, 2, and 2. 1, 1, 2, 2, and 2. So you can see using these two numbers, any two numbers from this, he can get a product of 5. So I hope that's clear. So now the probability of getting these 5 numbers is going to be our first instance. That means the first card. So that would be 5/9. So this is our first instance. First time when she takes 2 cards. So the product that would give us the first instance, the number of numbers that is about to give us product 5 would be 5/9. So in the second instance, from five of these numbers, 1 card would have been gone. So either 2 or 1. Then the number of numbers that's going to give us the product 5 will be reduced by 1. So our numerator will become 4 and our total will become 8. So I hope that's clear. So now we can just multiply this fraction that would give us the answer. So if we put it in the calculator directly, we'll get a simplified answer that is 5/18. So our final answer is 5/18. So again, if I explain this question, Mandeep now takes 2 of the 9 cards at random without replacement. So now she calculates the product of the two numbers received. We have to find the probability that the product is less than 5. So the numbers that would give us product 5. So out of all these 9 numbers, the numbers that would give us product 5 is going to be 1, 1, 2, 2, and 2. If we get one of these numbers, we are going to get product 5. So the first probability of getting these 5 numbers is going to be 5/9. Then the next probability of getting these numbers will be 4/8. Why 4/8? Because out of these 5 numbers, we have taken one number. So 5 becomes 4 and our total reduced by 1. So 5/9 into 4/8 gives us 5/18. So that is the probability that the product is less than 5. So the sixth question, complete the table for y equal x over 4 bracket 2x square minus x minus 10. So we have all the values from minus to 3. We have to find the value for x equal minus 3. So we have to just substitute this into this equation and find. So that will be minus 3/4 bracket 2 into minus 3 square minus 3 minus 10. So that's what would come. Then if you can directly put that in your calculator, so you get minus 8.25. So that will be your answer. Now the B question. Draw the graph of y equal x over 4 bracket 2x square minus x minus 10 for x less than or equal minus 3, x greater than or equal minus 3, and x less than or equal plus 3. So now we should just plot these points. So start plotting. So this is the first point, minus 3 and minus 8.25. The next point, minus 2 comma 0, as you can see here. So you can draw more small process just to show the point properly. The next one, minus 1 comma minus 1.75. So here you can see one box is 0.2. So if we want 0.75, then that will be between 1.6 and 1.8 will be 1.75. Next 0 comma 0 will be here. Next the 1 comma minus 2.25 is here. That is between minus 2.2 and minus 2.3. The next point 2 comma minus 2, that's here. Afterwards, the final point 3 comma 3.75 and here. So when you plot the points initially, you should make sure that the points are clear and that the exactly you take the correct value. So here this, as I said before, this middle value is like 2575 also. You should consider the number of boxes, how much is one box, and take it as accurately as possible. So now we'll draw the graph. So our graph be something like this. So you can exactly draw a smooth graph connecting all the points in one single graph. That means if you start from this point in your pencil, then you should drag it with uh, that same attempt. You should drag it until the last point, and you should make sure that your graph is smooth. So now we'll go to this question. The equation x over 4 bracket 2x square minus x minus 10 close bracket is equal to k has exactly two solutions. Use your graph to find the possible values of k. So we know that our y is equal to x over 4 bracket 2x square minus x minus 10. So they are saying to find values of k that would give us exactly two solutions. In other words, that should give us two 2x solutions. So that would be, the first one would be this line, as you can see from here to here. Then you know that in that line we have two x points. Now I'll draw it. So draw it and show. That would be like this. Now you can see according to the graph in this line, this y equal line, we are having two x solutions. So that point is equal to y equal 1.246. One solution is going to be y equal plus 1.6. So another solution now you could have figured out. So that is going to be here. That's like this. Here you can again see that there are two x solutions for this y line. So that is in between 2.4 and so that is in between 2.4 and 2.6. So we can take that as y equal minus 2.5. So because that's between 2.4 and minus 2.4 and minus 2.6. So I hope that's clear. They don't uh, find two lines such that it gives you find two values of k such that it gives you two solutions. Two solutions mean it should have two x values. So the D question, by drawing a suitable line on the grid, find the solutions of 2x cubed minus x square minus 10 equal 2x minus 4. So these type of questions always come in your graph. So I'll just write this same equation again. Two x cube minus x square minus 10x equals 2x minus 4. So from this format, you should somehow make your y. So from this format, you should go to your y equation, that is x over 4 bracket 2x square minus x minus 10. So it's possible. So if you see this closely, we can do a starting step as we can do factorizing. We can take our x out because x is common for all. So then it would become 2x square minus x minus 10. So now if you compare this and this, the missing part is division divided by 4. So we'll write that divide by 4 also. So divide by 4. So if we put a division in the left, we should put the same division in the right as well. So it would become 2x minus 4 divided by 4. Hope that's clear. Now we know that x over 4 bracket 2x square minus x minus 10 is equal to y. So we can just write it as y. And here separately we should take this division. So 2x divided by 4 and also separately minus 4 divided by 4. That would give us the y line we are looking for. Then that would be equal to uh, y equal x over 2 y equal x over 2 y equal x over 2 and minus 4 divided by 4 is going to be minus 1. So this is the line that we are going to draw. This is the intersection line that we are going to draw, and that line will have 3 solutions. Now to draw this line, we have to find some point. So first we'll find some points. We can make y 0 and find the value of x. So y equals 0, then 0 equal x over 2, x over 2 minus 1. So that is going to be, x is going to be equal to x will be equal to 1 equal x over 2. So again, we can also put this in calculator and also take at 1. So it's working. So x will be equal to 2. So the first point we got is 2 comma 0. Another point we can find is when x equals 0. So when x equals 0, y equals 0 over 2, 0 over 2 minus 1. In that case, 0 minus 1. So y is going to be equal to minus 1. So our next point is 0 comma minus 0 comma minus 1. So since we have 2 points, we can now plot our graph. I'll just use a different color for this point. So 2 comma 0, 2 comma 0. That's going to be here, 2 comma 0. And also 0 comma minus 1. That's going to be here. Now if I draw the line, so now you can see that there are 1, 2, and 3 X solutions. So now using the graph, you can just find those solutions. So we have one here. You can just draw some lines. The exam also, better to draw the lines and keep in your graph. Show the examiner how we got it. It's going to be this line. So according to this, the value is going to be minus 2.3. So x equal minus 2.3 is going to be our answer. Minus 2.3. And according to this, our next solution is going to be x equal plus 0.3 equal plus 0.3. Afterwards, our third solution is going to be plus 2 point plus 2.6. So your solutions might differ by small ranges or even the same. So in the exam, remember they'll give a set of range, maybe minus 2.3 to minus 2.6. So if your answer is in that range, they'll give marks. Also, if you show this working, then you have more guarantee that you will get the marks at least. So let's move on to the next question. The seventh question, A, solve 4x plus 7 equals 16. So that's simple. So 4x equal, take the 7 to the right side, so it will become 16 minus 7. So 16 minus 7 is equal to 9. So x is equal to 9 over 4. We write it in decimal, 2.25. So remember you have the calculator, so you can just put these values. So next B question, solve 5 bracket 4 minus y close bracket equal 30. So when we expand this, 5 into 4 is going to be 20. 5 into minus y is going to be minus y. That's going to be equal to 30. So now we have to take the minus 5y to the right and 30 to the left. So plus 30 when it moves to the left, it becomes minus 30. And minus 5y when it moves to the right, it becomes plus 5y. So 20 minus 30 is going to be equal to minus 10 equal 5y. So y is equal to minus 10 divided by 5. So in that case, y is going to be equal to minus 2. So I hope it's clear. So the C question, write down all the integers that satisfy this inequality. X is greater or equal minus 3 over 2 and less than 3. So first we convert minus 3 over 2 to decimal. That would be minus 1.5. So x is greater or equal minus 1.5 and less than or equal 3. So we have to write all the integers that satisfy this inequality. So for this, if it looks confusing at first glance, you can draw the number line. So -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is how a number line would look. So -1.5 is somewhere here. -1.5 is exactly here. So they are asking between -1.5 and 3, write all the integers. So the integers between this would be -1, 0, 1, 2, 1 and 2 only. 3 won't come because they told less than 3, not less than or equal. So I think you understand that it should be greater or equal -1.5. So it would be this side. We are -1, 0, 1 and 2. We cannot consider 3 because it's less than 3, not less than or equal. So our integers is going to be -1, comma 0, comma 1, comma. That's our answer. Let's move on to the next question. So D question, rearrange the formula y equal 4y minus x over 3x to make x the subject. So now in this equation, you have to subject x. We will write the equation again. Y equal 4y minus x over 3x. So we can solve this now. We have to make x the subject, meaning x should be in one side alone. Like now you can see y is alone in one side. Similarly, we have to subject x so that x remains alone in one side. So firstly, we'll take this 3x to the left, so that will become a cross multiplication. So 3x into y is going to be 3xy equal 4y minus x. So now we'll take the x terms to the one side. So we have minus x in the right. If we take it to the left, minus x when it moves to the left, it becomes plus x equal 4y. So now we can factorize this. We have x in both 3x, y, and x. So if I factorize it, x will come out 3y plus 1 is equal to 4y. So I hope that's clear. That's factorizing. So x is going to be equal to 4y divided by this whole thing. The whole thing 3y plus 1. So our answer is 4y over 3y plus 1. 4y over 3y plus 1. So remember in a subjecting question, if you have like now here we have 3x in as one term and also we have another x term as minus x. So somehow when you go on solving the formula and then you'll come to a stage where you have to factorize. So you have to be attentive to that and do the factorization. So to see E question, simplify 12x square minus 3y square over 2x square plus 8x minus xy minus 4y. So for this question, we have to again factorize. So we'll take the do the factorizations with sorry, we'll do both the factorizing separately. So firstly, sorry, 12x square is 12x square minus 3y square. So 12x square minus 3y square. So now if we factorize, we can take 3 out. Then it would be 4x square minus y square. So now we can see that we can factorize the inside part also more. So 4x square minus y square. This is what we call as uh, square term factorizing. So we have all square numbers inside this bracket. So 4 is the square of 2, 2 square, and x is the square, and y is also square. So to factorize this, what we should do is, first step, 3 times, we write it as square numbers. So 2 square gives us 4. So 2 square, x square minus y square. Then our next step is the same number, we write it one as positive and one as negative. So the first combination is 2x minus y means our next combination will be 2x plus y. So look closely. First we factorized 12x square minus 3y square. We took the 3 out. After that, we recognize that every numbers inside the brackets were square numbers. So we can factorize that more. So the first step is we write it as square numbers. After that, we write two different combinations. So the original one, 2x minus y, and the opposite of that, 2x plus y. So now let's factorize the denominator. So the denominator was 2x square plus 8x minus xy minus 4y. So now to factorize this, we can do two-term factorizing. That means can consider 2 by 2, these two separately, and we can consider these two separately and factorize. So 2x square and 8x, commonly we have 2x, then it would become x plus 4. X1, we have a common minus y for both of this. So it would be, so outside we'll have minus y, and inside the same x plus 4. So I hope that's clear. So the final factorized answer would be 2x minus y and x plus 4. So these are the overall factorizing of the numerator separately and denominator separately. Now we'll write this as a fraction. So firstly our numerator, 3 times 2x minus y into 2x plus y divided by 2x minus y into x plus 4. So I'm writing the multiplication to show you the simplification method properly. So now you can see that we have 2x minus y up and 2x minus y down. So we can cut both of this. So our final answer will be equal to 3 times 2x plus y over x plus 4. So that's our final answer. So that's going to be our final answer. So always these type of factorizing questions come. So I'll suggest better do the numerator factorizing separately and the denominator factorizing separately. And afterwards, after fully factorizing it, you can write in this format. So, however, there will be a common one for both the numerator and denominator. Then you can cut that and you can write the final answer in this format. So, let's move on to the next question. Sorry, the eighth question. ADB and AEC are straight lines. BC is parallel to DE. BC is equal to 9.8 centimeter. BD is equal to 2.7 centimeter. DE is equal to 5.6 centimeter. And CE is equal to 3.9 centimeter. A part, complete the missing angles reasons to show that the triangle ABC is similar to triangle ADE. In triangle ABC and triangle ADE, angle BAC is equal to blank because common angles. So now, in this question, they have asked us to show which angle in ABC is equal to which angle in ADE. So now we go in their order itself. Firstly, they are considered BAC. So remember, the triangles we are considering is ABC, ABC, this whole triangle, and ADE. So the first angle, angle BAC equal angle BAC again. So angle BAC is equal to angle BAC. That's because it's common for both. You can see here ABC triangle and also the ADE triangle has the A angle. So the next one, angle ABC. Angle ABC must be equal to the angle ADE. That is because we know that both of these lines are parallel. So we are getting the corresponding angles. Corresponding angles means, so if we have two parallel lines like this, parallel lines like this, the F-shape angles are always equal. That is called corresponding angles. So also another rule if I show you all, again if we have two parallel lines like this, then we call this as the Z angle, or we can say as alternative angles are always equal. So whenever you see a two parallel lines and they talk about angles, you should search for corresponding angles and alternative angles specifically. So now angle ABC is going to be equal to angle ADE because corresponding angle. So I hope that's clear. ADE because corresponding angles. Next one, angle ACB. So angle ACB will obviously be equal to angle AED because these two angles are already equal. So the third angle also will be equal. Also, if you don't know these two angles and if you are looking for that, again we can take parallel. We have the corresponding angle. So ACB is equal to AED. That's because again corresponding angles. So as the three pairs of angles are equal, triangle ABC is similar to triangle ADE. So now the B question, show that AD is equal to 3.6 centimeter and AE is equal to 5.2 centimeter. So in other words, we have to find the value of AD and show that it's 3.6 and find the value of AE and show that it's 5.2. So in similar figures or similar triangles, we can use the length ratio. So length ratio means the length of one, you say the first triangle ADE and the length of the second triangle ABC. Using those two lengths, we can form a length ratio. So we'll take the known length. So in ADE, we know the base, that is 5.6, the down length 5.6. In ABC, that is going to be 9.8. So that is going to be our length ratio. So we take a known pair of lengths in both triangles. So 5.6 to 9.8. This is going to be our length ratio. So using this length ratio, we can find any other lengths in both the triangles. So now we are finding AD, this AD. So AD in the triangle ABC is going to be AD plus 2.7, because if we take this AD as X, if I take this AD as X, then the ratio will be AD is to AB. So AD is X, AB is the full length. Full length will be X plus 2.7. So we write that ratio X is to X plus 2.7. So now we can just cross multiply this into this. So 5.6 bracket X plus 2.7 is equal to 9.8X. So 5.6 into X is 5.6X, and 5.6 into 2.7 is 15.12 equal 9.8X. So now we can move the 5.6 to the right. So 15.12 is equal to 9.8X minus 5.6X. We continue to work here. So 15.12 is equal to 9.8X minus 5.6X is going to be equal to 4.2X. So now we have to divide both sides by 4.2. So 4.2, 4.2 here as well. So both get cancelled. So when you divide 15.12 divided by 4.2, you will get exactly 3.6 centimeter. So you can see that we are getting AD exactly as 3.6 centimeter. So now if we find AE, AE again we should use length ratios. So 5.6 into 9.8. So we are finding AE. So AE in the small triangle is AE, and in the big triangle it will be considered as AC, this whole thing. So if I take AE as Y, then for the small triangle it would be Y. For the big triangle, it would be this total length AC, that is Y plus 3.9. So it will be a similar working as the AD calculation. So Y is to Y plus 3.9. So now again we can cross multiply. I'll directly multiply 5.65. 5.6 into 3.9 is going to be equal to 21.84. equal to 9.85. Well, continues working here. So now we can move the 5.65 to the right, then 1.84 is equal to 9.65, 9.85 minus 5.65. So that's again going to be 4.2 by. So now again we can divide it both sides by 4.2. Divide both sides by 4.2 and we'll get the value of y. So according to this, y is going to be equal to 21.84 divided by 4.2 is going to be equal to exactly 5.20 meter. So you can see that we are getting these answers exactly. We are getting the answers they are stored. So let's move on to the next question. Calculate angle DAE. So now we are finding angle DA. So if I again label our triangle, this is going to be 3.6 and this is going to be 5.2. So they are asking angle DAE. So this is a non-right angle triangle. Therefore, we have to use trigonometry too. So we have three known lengths and one unknown angle. So the method we are going to use is the cosine cos rule. So draw triangle here as well. So we are finding this angle. This is D. This is our E. This is A. This was 3.6. Was 5.2. And this was our 5.6. So now we can use the cosine rule because we have three known lengths and one unknown angle. So the first rule, the first rule is going to be equal to C square equal A square plus B square minus 2AB into cos x. So it will be angle. So C square will be the length, it always the length in front of the angle you are searching for. So your angle here is going to be x. Write that x here. So c square will be the length in front of x. That's 5.6 square. And a and b will be the two lengths in uh, along the angle. Two lengths along the angle. So c square, c is going to be equal to 5.6 square equal 3.6 square plus 5.2 square minus again 2AB. So A is 3.6 and B is 5.2 into cos x. So now if we solve this, 5.5 is going to be 31.36, and 3.6 square plus 5.2 square will be exactly 40. So you can just use calculator here. Minus 2 into 3.6 into 5.2 will give you 37.44 into cos. So now if we subject cos x, 31.36 minus 40 equal minus 37.44 into cos x. So further if we simplify, 31.36 minus 40 divide by minus 37.44 divide by 30 minus 37.44 is going to be equal to our cos x. So if we put this entire thing in the calculator, we are getting a exact fraction as 3/13. So cos x equal 3/13. So x is going to be equal to cos cos inverse this whole fraction. That is, I used a fraction to improve the accuracy. Cos inverse 3/13. Cos inverse 3/13. So that would be equal to 76.65. So angles usually we give in one decimal place. So answer will be 76.7. Correct to 1 dB. I hope that's clear. So recapping that, firstly we identify the angle we are looking for. Then we know that it's a non-right angle triangle. Non-right angle triangle means we are supposed to do trigonometry 2. Here we had three known lengths and one unknown angle. So we are supposed to use cos theta, the cos rule. So when we write the cos rule, c square will be the length in front of the angle we are looking for, and a square and b square will be the lengths along the angle. So as we solve it, we'll come to a state where cos x is equal to 3/13. That's the exact fraction. So we take cos inverse of that and we get 76.17. So D question, calculate the area of triangle ABC. So now we should calculate the area of triangle ABC. Triangle ABC, if I draw it here, would be a bit extra from here. This is our B and this is our C. So EC was 3.9 and our BD was 2.7. So now we can find the area of this triangle. So it's a non-right angle triangle, and we know the angle here, that is 6.7. So area of non-right angle triangle formula is half into AB into sine x. So half into AB should be the two lengths, in between the angle. So our angle is 76.17. And our length should be total length. So 3.6 plus 2.7 and 5.2 plus 3.9. So 3.6 plus 2.7 is 6.3, and 5.2 plus 3.9 is going to be 9.1. So into sine 7.7. So now we can just put this in the calculator and we'll get the answer equal to 27.9 correct to 3 SF. So final answer is 27.9 centimeter square. So remember, if you recognize it as a non-right angle triangle and we are finding angle, then angles or any length, then we have to go for the trigonometry rule, the trigonometry 2 rules. So let's move on to the next question. The ninth question A. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, and D are points on a circle, center O. A, O, D, and O, C, E are straight line. DE is a tangent to the circle at D. Angle ABC equal 126 degree and D is equal to 10.5 centimeter. Calculate the radius of the circle. So now they say that there's a circle and the center is O. Also, AOD is a straight line and OCE is a straight line. DE is a tangent. Also, they are given the angle of ABC and the size of DE. So if we want to find the radius, so if I radius is any length from the center to the circumference. So OD, OC, or even OA we can find. So I'm going to find OD. We will label it and keep OD. So now we know that in the circle theorem, uh, radius to tangent, the angle adapts to 90 degrees. This angle is going to be equal to 90 degrees. So now we know that we have one length and we know that it's 90 degrees. So we can use trigonometry, but still it's incomplete to find one length because we don't know this angle. So firstly, we'll find a way to find this angle. Also, we can find this also, but we are choosing to find this. So we'll erase the 90 for now. So as you can see here, ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. So angle ADC will be equal to 180 minus 126 because angle on a cyclic quadrilateral. If I write that and show angle ADC is equal to 180 minus 126. So that's going to be equal to 54. So reason we can write angle on cyclic quadrilateral. Angles on cyclic quadrilateral. So now we know that This angle is going to be 54. Now, this is a radius. This is also a radius. If this angle is 54, know that this angle is also 54. That's because isosceles triangle. That's going to be equal to 54. So now we can find this angle by using angles on a triangle. So 54 plus 54 plus O will take as O angle is equal to 180. 54 plus 54 is equal to 108. 108 plus O is equal to 180. O is equal to 180 minus 108. So O is going to be equal to 72. So now we can erase these two. Also, we can show this. This angle is going to be equal to 72. And we know that ODE is a right angle triangle. So now we can use trigonometry. So this is the opposite because it's the length in front of the angle. And we are finding OD, that is the adjacent. So opposite O adjacent is equal to tan theta. So in our case, tan 72 is equal to opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. Tan 72 is equal to 10.5 divided by, we take the radius as r. So now we can take the r to the left and tan 72 down. So r equal 10.5 divided by tan 72. So our final answer would be 10.41 correct to 3 as well. So you can see here that this question was not direct. So they asked us to find the radius. So first I labeled all the radius and we thought about which one we can find. So we chose this OD. So we knew that from radius to tangent, the angle adapts to 90 degree and we had one length. So if we found this angle somehow, then we could use trigonometry one. So finding that angle also again we had to use circle theorem. So angles on cyclic quadrilateral gave us the size of ADC. And afterwards, OD and OC are both radiuses. So 54, 54, and we subtracted and found the angle of O. So after that, we knew that the opposite is 10.5 and adjacent is R, which is looking for. Tan 72 equal opposite of adjacent, and our final answer came as 3.41, three significant figures. So let's move on to the next question. P and Q are points on a different circle center O. The angle of the minor arc is 82 degree. The length of the minor arc is 7.3 centimeter. Calculate the area of the main sector. Uh, so to find the area, we can use uh, theta, or I should take it as x over 360 into pi r pi r square. So now the problem is this new circle, we do not know the radius. So in order to find that radius only, they are given us this length of minor arc. So length of minor arc formula we know, length equal x over 360 length over 360 into 2 pi r. So our length is 7.3. We are finding the angle. Sorry, the angle is given. The angle is given, and we are finding the value of the radius. So into 2 pi into r. So now if we solve this, it would be 7.3 into 360 divided by 82 into 2 pi. So see, when we simplify this much, our working gets easier and we can save more time as well. So to put it to the calculator, we get 5.1 centimeter. So they are asking the area of the major sector. So area of major sector is going to be x over 360 into pi r square. Yes. The major sector will have a different angle. So we should consider this angle. So to find that angle, what we should do is total angles in a circle is 360. So 360 minus 82. So that's going to be equal to 278. Now we can use our formula. Sorry. So x over 360 into pi r square. So our angle is 278 divided by 360. 278 over 360 into pi into 5.1 square. So our answer is going to be equal to 63.1. So this is our final answer. So quick recap. To find the area of the sector, you can use x over 360 into pi r square. And to find length of a sector, you can use x over 360 into pi r. So you are familiar with when they are talking about the major sector or the minor sector. The minor sector means the one with the smaller angle, and major sector means the one with the bigger angle. So let's move on to the next question. The 10th question. The cost of apples is 8 cents per kilogram. Meena spends $9 on apple. The question, write down an expression for the mass in kilograms of apples Meena receives. So they have told that the cost of apples is X cents per kilogram, and Meena spends $9 dollars on apples. So So if we write this as a ratio, X cents is for 1 kilogram. So we are supposed to find for $9. So first we have to convert uh $9 to cents. That would be 900 cents is to uh, take as capital A. So as you can see, that's going to be equal to 900 over X. So the mass in kilograms of apples Meena receives is 900 over X. Maybe at once we could told this. I just showed the working so that you can clearly understand that. For the big question, the cost of pears is 40 cents per kilogram, more than the cost of apples. Meena spends $9 on pears. The mass of pears Meena receives is 0.75 kilogram less than the mass of apples. Form an equation in x and show that it simplifies to x squared plus 40x minus 48,000 equals 0. So they are told now the cost of pears is 40 cents per kilogram more than the cost of apples. So this would become x plus 40. And again, Meena spends another $9 on pears. So the expression for the mass of pears is going to be again 900 over this time it's going to be x plus 40. That is because cost of pears is 40 cents per kilogram more than the cost of apples. So now we have two expressions. So always there will be a sentence that would give you an idea or the sentence that is needed to start or form your reaction or form your equation. So that sentence in this question is this: the mass of pears Meena receives is 0.75 kilogram less than the mass of apples. So in other words, they are saying the difference between the mass of apples and the mass of pears is going to be 0.75 kilogram. So we have both the expression now, so we can form a overall equation. So 900 over x, 900 over x minus 900 over x plus 40 is going to be equal to 0.75 kilogram. So I'm going to write that 0.75 kilogram in fraction. That is first to make a simplification more uh, clear. So I'll show you that later why this would become clear. So that 0.75 in fractions would be 75 over 100. So now we can simply solve it. Here we have subtraction of two fractions, so we can just uh, cross multiply both of this and cross multiply both of this, and also find denominator, multiply both the denominator. So now we proceed with that. To become 900 times x plus 40 minus 900x over x times plus 40. And that would be equal to the same 75 over 100. 75 over 100. So now if we expand these brackets, 900 times x is going to be 900x plus 900 into 40 is going to be 36,000 minus 900x, and x into x is going to be x square plus uh, plus x into 40 is going to be 40x then we have not um, done any simplification this time so far. So now we can see that 900x minus 900x. So both of them get cancelled. So we'll have 36,000 over x square plus 40x is equal to 75 over 100. So now we can just cross multiply both of this. So I'll continue the work in here. So 36,000 into 100 is going to be 3,600,000. 3,600,000 is equal to 75 into x square going to be 75x square plus 75 into 40. 75 into 40x is going to be 3,000 x square. So now you can see that slowly we are getting this format. So according to this format now, we need our x square term to be positive and our x term to be positive and this number to be negative. So we have to move this number to the right. So that would become 75x square plus 3,000x minus 3,600,000. That is equal to 0. So now, according to this format again, the x square term should be 1 and this would be 40, this would be 48,000. So we can't directly tell from what number we should divide to get this, but directly we can tell to make 75x square 1x square, we should divide it by 75. So if we divide 1 by 75, we should divide the whole equation by 75. So in that case, that's going to give us uh, the exact same number. So 75 divide again 75 again 75. So 75 divided by 75 will be 1. So x square plus you can check in the calculator 3,000 divided by 75 is going to be 40. So 40x and minus 3,600,000 divided by 75 is going to be minus 48,000. Now we can see that we are getting the equation. So always remember in this type of proving or showing question, there will always be a point for you to form the equation. So initially, if you look at the quadratic equation alone, you will think that it's hard and you won't be able to do it. But from the sentence, try to form something and work it out. And eventually, you will get this expression. So let's move on to the next question. The question, solve the equation x square plus 40x minus 48,000 equals 0. Show your working. So we can write this again. X square plus 40x minus 48,000 equals 0. So now usually we use the formula and find the value of x. But here they are just all solved, which means we have factors that can give this answer. So our usual factor method is uh, we multiply the x square coefficient and the last number. So that will give us minus 48,000. So we are making minus 48,000. So now we can find some factors. So one factor would be 48 2,000. We can take as minus 14,000 because we need minus 14,000. Another factor would be minus 200 into plus 240. So now uh, we find the factor by multiplying these two. After that, we should choose a factor such that when we add both of those factors, we should get plus 40. So from minus, when we add minus 48 and 1,000, we are not getting plus 40. Even we won't be close to 40. But here clearly you can see when we add minus 200 and 240 or 240 minus 200, it would be equal to exactly plus 40. So this is the two factors we are going to use. So therefore, it would be x square plus 240x minus 200x minus 48,000 equal to 0. Now we can simply factorize. We take the x out. It would be x plus 240. And here we have minus 200 commonly to both. Again, the uh, same expression only will come x plus 240 equals 0. So our final two expressions would be x plus 240 and x minus 200 equals 0. So now to find the value of x, we can equate both of them to 0 separately. X plus 240 equals 0. X plus 240 equals 0. Or x minus 200 equals 0. So if we solve it, x plus 240 equals 0, then x is equal to minus 240. X minus 200 is equal to 0, then x is equal to 200. So our answer is minus 240 and 200. So the next question, Narendra buys 1.5 kilogram of apples and 0.8 kilogram of pears. Work out the total amount he pays in dollars. So the expression for the mass of apples in kilogram was x cents. So now we already calculated the value of x, that is minus 240 and 200. So we know that money cannot be negative. So the answer we should take is 200. So x cents, in other words, it's 200 cents. So now we can use ratio. So for 1 kilogram, it is 200 cents. For 1.5 kilogram, this A. We'll take it as A, for example. So A is equal to 1.5 into 200. So that is equal to 300 cents. So if we want to convert it to dollars, that would be $3. So similarly, the next one, the mass of pears in kilograms was x plus 40 cents. So that is going to be 200 plus 40 equal to 240 cents. I hope that's clear. Those were the same expressions we wrote earlier. So 1 kilogram is equal to 240 cents. We are finding 0.8 kilogram equal P. So P is equal to 0.8 into 240. So that is going to be equal to 192 cents. So again, 192 cents in dollars would be 1.92. You just divide by 100. So now to find the total, 3 plus 1.92, that's going to be equal to $4.92. $4.92. So that's our final answer. So again, a recap of this question. So after finding the expression or showing the formula above, so this formula, then we'll surely have a question to find that value of x. So after finding the value of x, you should choose between these two values, which one you're going to use for a d part. Because the next question after finding x would be related to using the expressions and the x value to find your answer. So here they told again now he buys 1.5 kilograms of apples it seems and 0.8 kilograms of pears. So we are finding the amount for that. So we already had those expressions in the first question, x cents and x plus 40 cents. So in this C question, we found the values and we know that money shouldn't be negative and we chose 200 as our answer and we put 200 into x and then we solved the equation and found the answer. So you should be familiar like that. So the all four of these questions will be connected for sure. So make sure to get the expressions right. So that's the end of this discussion. Thank you.